Hello everyone, this is Dr. Lex. My local supermarket finally restocked their supply of padlocks. They only sell one model of padlock and it's this one. It's a 40mm padlock with security written in big letters all over it that just asks to be picked. It came in this horrible blister packaging which I already opened without cutting myself, which is quite a miracle. And I bought this about 2 weeks ago before going on holiday, and I taped up the keys so I would have forgotten the pinning by now. I only vaguely remember that the pinning was quite interesting on this particular one, so it should give at least some kind of a challenge. The packaging doesn't mention anything special except that it has a 6.3mm shackle, a solid brass body made out of one piece, and it has locking at both sides of the shackle. It has 5 pins and a Yale-style keyway, which seems to have become the standard for simple locks sold in Europe these days, or at least in Belgium. And from looking at it, the tolerances don't seem too bad. I think it might be shimmable with some really thin shims, but I don't have any that fit, so I didn't manage to shim it. So the only way to open it is by picking, and let's try it and see how much of its security name it deserves. And of course, even though Carrefour is a French supermarket brand, the lock is made in China like most things these days. Due to the paracentric keyway, I'll probably need bottom of the keyway tension, so I'll try it with this Z-bar, but I might attempt to try it again with top of the keyway tension later, because I think I might be able to fit something in there. And because I remember some nasty pinning, I'll use this deep hook just to be sure I can reach all the pins. Let's get started. One is loose, 2 is binding, got a click out of 2 and some movement on the core. Let's try 3. 3 seems rather loose. So let's move on to 4. This keyway really makes it quite difficult to move around. I think I might have set 4. Let's try 5 if I can manage to get under him. Yes. Oh, and it's already open. So that wasn't too difficult, but most of the times when I try it, I always have some trouble because I seem to overset some pins. And that's probably due to the key, and now that I have opened it I can see what key I picked from the store. And I can already see that the first cuts are very deep. So that's what the bitting looks like. The first pin is probably at the deepest possible position, or the pin is at the highest possible position. Then the second pin is only slightly deeper, so that makes it quite difficult. You almost can't touch the first pin and you only need to push the second pin slightly down, and then you need to push pins 3 and 4 quite deep, and that makes it slightly challenging. But all in all, it's still quite manageable, and I didn't feel any security pins in there, so it's a quite standard lock. But still, I think for the €3.50 it costs, it's much better value than this roll-down lock which I reviewed earlier on. I promised I would also try to open this with top of the keyway tension, and despite the narrow and short shape of the keyway at the top, I think I can get into it with this modified wiper insert. I felt a bit off of this end, so it's a bit narrower, and it does fit into this top of the keyway and also some other of these similar keyways, so that makes it a viable option if I want to use the top of the keyway instead of bottom of the keyway tension. So we'll see if this makes things any easier for this particular lock. So back at pin 1. It's again loose. I think this will be the same as the other time, and right off the bat I can feel that it's not really easier due to the shape of the keyway. There's not particularly more space by inserting the wiper in the top of the keyway. So pin 2 is set. I think 3 moved. So I again have trouble getting on the pin 4. Oh, that's already open. So it might have been slightly easier, but maybe it's just because I picked it before and now I know the bitting. So I don't think this made much of a difference, because due to the shape of the keyway, using top of the keyway here doesn't really offer much more space. Anyway, that was it for this lock from the Carrefour supermarket. It's not very secure despite its security imprint, but still its tolerances didn't seem too bad. I often had some pins falling back, so it indicates that the tolerances aren't too sloppy, but still it's a budget lock, of course, but you could do much worse than this. And if you do the effort to choose a key with some nice bitting like this one, then even a simple cheap lock like this can offer some protection against novice lock pickers who only carry a standard pick. You really need a deep hook for this one, otherwise it's very difficult, if not impossible, to open it. So the choice of the key is important when buying a lock, especially when buying simpler locks that doesn't have all the fancy security features. Anyway, that's all. See you next time.